buckle up. Let's go for the journey. And I hope that this will help you. My mom was an opera singer, and she was on tour a lot. And my father was in the military. And in the 1970s, that means that he was in Vietnam. So much to the point that he did 10 tours of Vietnam by the time that Vietnam had ended. So I didn't have a mom and dad at home. I had nannies. There was a gardener. There's a woman who cooked in the kitchen. And I feel very sorry for me. But if it wasn't for my older brother, who was basically my mom, I wouldn't have anybody. So maybe that's why I was more of a serious child. I saw things more like in black and white, or at least I wanted to, or I pretended to. Anything that had to do with supernatural or fantasies or unicorns or fairy tales, I didn't have time for that. I only had time for real things, because I guess I really wanted that. I wanted real love. I wanted to feel real love, or for it to exist and to be around me, because I didn't have it, besides my brother. So when kids would say things like, oh, rainbows, and I'd say, well, rainbows. And they're like, you don't believe in rainbows? Well, I've never seen one. Like, oh, you'll see one. Well, people tell me I will see a lot of things, but I won't believe in rainbows until I see it. Well, that's how I was. And I tended to lie. I wanted to be an atheist. I didn't even know the word atheist. I had to get my older brother to look it up in a dictionary. So I committed to being an atheist, even at a young age of 5 years old. And that's what I was going to be. I was going to be an atheist because I didn't want anything to do with how my father was. And my father was Episcopalian. Not that he talked much about God or angels or Jesus or anything. But he wasn't really around. And my mom, she was more into more spiritualism things, like tarot card reading and seances. Well, I didn't have time for that, and it really bothered me. It bothered me because I couldn't tell her the truth. So I kept behind this mask. I'm an atheist, even though I did see things. Well, if you have seances and it happening in your house, well, the things that make strange noises at night, they're real. But I would lie and I would say I didn't believe in any of it. But everything changed. In 1980, after my parents were divorced and were fighting for who would have my brother and me, well, my father won. And it was very scary for me. My brother was scared because my father was a very strict disciplinarian. It was much harder on him than me, to the point that my brother tried to commit suicide, and I was the one who found him. But afterwards, we still had to go and live with him. I was concerned because even though I was an atheist, still hiding behind that mask, I could see that she's not okay. That this new stepmother, she's dark. And I knew why. But, you hear people saying, oh, well, my my stepmom. But no, my stepmom was a witch. She was a practicing witch. I know you probably don't believe me, but guess what she liked people to call her? Her real name was Edith, but she even made her mother and everyone around her to call her Jinx. Do you know what Jinx means? Jinx is when you put a hex on someone. And that was her name. My father called her by that name. We called her by that name. Everyone called her Jinx. And she lived up to the reputation. And when my father was away many times on military tours, she proved to me how much of a witch she was. Beating me, flogging me, putting my body through horrible pain, not feeding me, putting even hallucinogenics in my food, to the point where I could not even go to school anymore, and she couldn't make any more excuses of why I'm at home. And people are beginning to be too suspicious. Why am I wearing long sleeves? Why am I becoming so skinny? Why do I look more gray? Well, to top that off, she was training her son and also in the witchcraft. He was much older. When I went to live with them, I was 10 years old and he was 16. So from 10 years old, he would bother me physically all the time, sexually all the time. And she and her son would ask me constantly, have you started your menstrual cycle yet? Have you started your period? And I thought, I'm very scared. What are their plans for me? Besides maybe killing me or beating me, I don't think I'll last. So yes, 2 times failed attempts to run away. That didn't work. I ended up being put into a psychiatric ward at Sacred Heart Hospital. But I had 2 psychiatrists and they said, well, we don't see anything wrong with her. But they did notice all the bruises and open wounds. I had open wounds in my body. Well, they said I had to go back to school. And one day I just wanted peace and quiet. So I went into the library. And I walked down this one aisle that was really close by the windows where probably no one walks. And I ran my hands along the shelves. And there was this empty space. And I looked down and there was this very odd rectangle book out of like white leather. Spells and incantations. This might be it. This could help me. So I turned the page and there was all these incantations, money, love, all these other things. And I said, none of this is going to help me. I have to fight fire against fire. Then I came to the page, how to fight your enemy. And I thought, I had to steal this book. And I did. I stole it. Took it home, had to wait when I was supposed to be doing my homework after dinner. And I sat on the carpet and started looking at it. And suddenly something came in the room. It was right behind me. And it was really tall. And it scared me. And I thought, well, maybe if I close the book, it'll go away. It didn't go away. So I opened the book again, and I tried to say the words, and the thing came closer to me. And I kept trying to say the words, and it came closer to the point it was sitting behind me. And I said, I feel you're here. Did you come with the book? Yes. And from that point, this voice said that it was going to be my spirit guide, and that I'm not reading it right. Plus, for it to work, I have to accept this like spirit guide inside me, and then I will be able to say the words. Well, so I did. And then everything changed. It worked for a little bit. And my stepmother was afraid of me. And she thought, something's happening. And then she realized, oh no. She didn't know how it happened, but I had become a witch too. So now instead of just one witch beating on an innocent girl, now here I was a witch, and I was becoming stronger than her. And yes, I did have to invite more inside me. I had to invite more demons, but I thought that was going to be it. And even though I was stronger, I didn't feel happy. I was getting more skinnier. I just felt sick. And it was saying, you're going to have to give allegiance. And sometimes when it would say that I should do something, and I would say, no. Because I still had like some little part of goodness still left in me. And they were like, no, you're damned. You're damned. You have to do what we say. And if I wouldn't do it, it would give me physical pain. Or sometimes throw me across the room. And it got to the part, and this is what hurts my heart, that my father was afraid of me. And my father wasn't the one who was hurting me. It was my stepmother. And I thought, I am damned. I'm damned because my father was afraid of me. And I said, I have nowhere to go. And I thought, and so when it said, you're going to have to burn the house down. You're going to have to wait until your father's back from one of his military duties. And you're going to have to burn the house down. Well, I might be damned. I might be a witch, but I'm not crazy. And I don't want to hurt my dad. And I was like, no. And they said, well, and you're also not giving allegiance, then people will come for you and they're going to make you give allegiance. And I said, what people? They said, people that are stronger than your stepmother and higher in rank than your military father. Higher rank than my military father? Who are these people? And so they said, you're going to have to give allegiance. I was desperate. And even though I wasn't supposed to lock the door in the bathroom, I took a chance and I locked the door in the bathroom and I just started taking off my clothes, tearing off my clothes and saying to this God that I had heard existed. And so I was taking off my clothes and I said, God, if you are real and you see me, look at my wounds. Smell how I smell, because my wounds are not able to heal because I've been beaten and beaten over and over again. And I said, I know that I'm damned. But if it's true that Jesus died for me, if it's true that there's a spiritual war and you fight evil, then come for me. Come for me. But I will give you only 3 days. Come for me. Prove to me. Come for me. Save me. Get me out of here. Because I will surely die. I'll give you 3 days. And if not, then all I have is that I will be pushed and I'll be made to be your worst enemy. To bring down your Jews, to bring down your Christians, to bring down your church. And I will be so angry with you. Because I know that you're real. And that's what will make me so much more angrier if you do not come for me. Come for me. I'm desperate. And in 3 days, it happened. Got home from school, walking down the hall. And my stepmother called me and she's like, come here. But she was acting different. She's like, sit down. I sat down on the couch with her. And I didn't want to even look at her, so I was looking at the fireplace. And suddenly the light in the room got brighter. And I heard my name, Michelle. Michelle. I was like, I know that voice. I know that voice. And I turned and it's coming out of my stepmother's mouth. And I just started crying. I said, oh my gosh. How is it that you could speak through her body? He said, we don't have much time. I said, I know you. You're Jesus. I'm Jesus. We don't have much time. You want us to come for you. We're coming for you. But it's a fight. We're literally having to hold back. And he said, you need to make a decision now. And I said, I was like, I don't even know how to pray. And so Jesus prayed with me. I was still astonished how he could speak through her body. And after I prayed with him, accepted Jesus into my heart and my soul, the light became even bigger. And I was saying, how is it you're doing this? Why would you speak through her? And he said, because you will know that no human form or of this earth will be over the power of the salvation through me and through, with God and the sacrifice, the blood sacrifice. And then the angel was there in front of the fireplace. And then there was like a big book in front of the angel. The angel said, days of all days, these days we celebrate in heaven because your name has been written in the Lamb's Book of Life. I didn't even know what the Lamb's Book of Life was. And it was like, and the light was so big in the room. And I turned and I said, don't leave me here. Don't leave me here. I said, I don't care. It's okay if I die. I want to go with you. He said, no, you still need to be here. It's very important for you to be here. And I said, I don't want to be alone. And he said, you're not going to be alone. I'm going to give you a gift. And it's called the Holy Spirit. I said, I've heard about that. And he said, you will never need any spiritual guides, no more demons. You will have a part of me and God, the Holy Spirit. It will tell you to go right, go left, stop, go forward, wait. And it will be with you. Be with you, like to give you those hugs that you need until we're together again. And I believed in that. And I said, well, and he said, and you're not going to be here for long. I said, oh, that's wonderful. He said, in 3 days, when you hear the Holy Spirit, say, now. You run out that front door as fast as you can, and I will make a pathway, and you will run, and the Holy Spirit will tell you exactly where to go. And we're gonna bring you into deliverance. We're gonna bring you into freedom. And that's what happened. And not only did he bring me into deliverance and freedom, brought me into a family that were my cousins. The home that the Holy Spirit and Jesus and God brought me into was a Christian home. Not just Christians, but just Christians that actually go to church. Christians who actually read the Bible. Christians who talk about, yes, there's a spiritual war. Christians who actually believe everything that I've just told you just now. I said I wanted to be an atheist. But I think all along, I just wanted to understand. And I wanted to be protected, and I wanted to be loved. And when it got really hard to a certain point, I had to cry out for it. So if you're in a place in your life, maybe you have wounds on your back like I had, wounds on your body, or maybe you have wounds in your mind, or maybe in your heart, in your soul. It doesn't matter, it's the same. You can call out and say, help me, come for me. And he will come for you. He will come for you. I promise you, he will come for you. And he will save you, and he will open that door, and when he says, now, and you'll be running towards freedom. And I pray this for you, and I pray it'll be true in your life as well. Thank you for listening to my story.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more testimonies or inspirational videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or go to kelseymullen.com.